Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy, howdy, Civil here, and welcome to a game featuring the Dwarfs versus the Lizardmen, generaled by Amovehacker, and he is playing against Energized. This is a matchup between two amazing players that you've seen before on this channel with these factions, and now we are post-patch, so we're going to get a chance to see them again here, and I will put this in slow-mo as I go over the armies. So Amovehacker has adjusted his army somewhat with the new game. He has actually brought a Rune Lord, which he doesn't normally bring, and a Runesmith. He usually just brings the base Lord. He's decided to try out the new runes with the Rune of Wrath and Rune, and that 72% charge speed slow and 72% speed slow. Don't know why this says 150 meters. I thought it was a 200 meters. Anyways, 44% damage resistance rune as well for 18 seconds, and this goes off for 36 seconds. The Runesmith rune, his is for 25 seconds. Sorry, 18 seconds, 72% speed instead of 150 meters. I think it's a 200 meters. I don't know why it's showing up like that. Maybe that's a bug. Anyways, 22% damage resistance, and there he is for his leadership with the Rune of Negation and the Rune of Wrath and Rune. He also, of course, has 5 Longbeards in this front line. Longbeards are very, very good in this matchup because they do beat Red Crested Skinks straight up. He also has the Warriors of Dragonfire pass in the back line to match up with the Dragonback Slayers, who will make things weak to fire and slow them down, and how obviously they have that big anti-large. And these Warriors of Dragonfire pass have anti-infantry, and they do have flaming attacks. I don't know why this is showing red here, but anyways, he also has one group of miners with blasting charges on this side, and the middle of his formation, he has 3 Thunders and only 1 Iron Drake. So he's actually changed his lineup a little bit. He used to have 2 Iron Drakes, and I believe he had a Quarreler in there somewhere, but he's now gone to 3 Thunders, and he does have Dragonback Slayers right in the middle of his lineup. And you can see the third group of Thunders here, and he does have a Bolt Thrower that's downgraded from a cannon, which Amove does like to bring. He's brought just a Bolt Thrower just to have some pressure, and no Gyrocopters. No Gyrocopters. So, for the Lizardmen, this is very similar to builds we've seen from Energized before. He does have 2 groups of Colon Riders, really for that deep, deep flank, as a second group is over here. And he has brought an Ancient Salamander. So he swapped out, he used to bring 3 Croxagores, he swapped that out for an Ancient Salamander. And you're going to see this Ancient Salamander do some work, and you see he's coming through the trees, trying to get a nice side shot in on this army. He has 3 groups of Saurus Warriors with shields. These are still the gold standard for infantry against the Dowie for the Lizardmen. He also has 4 Red-Crested Skinks, including the and then 5 with the Regiment of Renown and Cohort of Sotek. Now these guys are unbreakable. They also have that refuse to die, so you pop it every 60 seconds for 20 seconds, no entities will die, and it's followed up by 2 Croxagores, not 3. And I love this new artwork. It really, really does look sharp. Compared, like, their old artwork didn't look bad, but this looks really sharp. But only 2 of them. For his caster, he has a Skink Priest at Heavens, and he's only brought Curse of the Midnight Wind. Minus 30 armor, minus 26 melee attack. Really, that's really strong against the Dowie for where the Saurus Warriors are. And he has brought again, which he had last time, a Saurus Old Blood. And really, that Saurus Old Blood has the Horn of Kygor, 40 meters for 20 seconds every 90, plus 8 leadership, plus 25 melee attack, plus 18% charge bonus. Essentially, it is very, very similar to a stronger version of WoW, except on a smaller radius, and he does have Stand Your Ground for 27 melee defense and 16 leadership. So we'll get this on the go, and you can see, so Amovehacker he's taken a couple shots sort of downtown here to the Saurus Warriors, and he notices, I mean, Amove is not new. He notices this going on. He accidentally pops the Rune of Negation, because he has 2 runes, and usually you only ever bring 1. So he pops the Master Rune, Wrath and Rune here, and the Rune of Wrath and Rune, really to slow these guys down. Because he knows the Croxagores are coming, and normally the Kroxigor are going to show up. So essentially, it's going to take these two units, which normally support Kroxigors, in this fight, and just remove them from the fight for some amount of time. On this side, he's already getting bombarded by this Ancient Salamander. He is trying to shoot back, though. He's trying to shoot that Ancient Salamander back. You can see here, though, these Kroxigors, they get here way early. So I don't know if Energized didn't notice it, but they get here way early, and you're going to see he's going to completely focus on these guys with his Troll Hammers, and all 3 Thunders, and he's just absolutely melting the Kroxigors, really crushing them. And he does have Curse of the Midnight Wind going on here, and Master Rune of Negation. These guys are absolutely getting demolished by the Dowie backline, and that's before everything gets here. So now the Kroxigors are already routed before everything else gets to the front line. Still, you've got these guys which are a little bit late to the party. These guys which are a little bit late to the party, but they're getting there. And this Ancient Salamander is just teeing off, just shooting it from the side. He is trying to shoot it back, but he can't kind of arc it over that ridge. Now, bolt throwers are good, but you can see he's actually trying to shoot the damn thing. He is getting some shots in, but in come these red-crested skinks from the side. And really, this is how you want to use red-crested skinks. Exactly how Energized is using them. I'm trying to bring them around back because they're going to do good against miners, dwarf warriors, thunders, troll hammer torpedoes, everything like that. And in comes these Cold One Riders. They're going to get into the cookie jar, and boom, Master Rune or the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. And this is really where the Rune of Wrath and Ruin can help slow things down. Even if you aren't going to attack them, it's going to slow them getting into this back line. And really, that is a decent use of this actual ability. In comes the Dragonback Slayers. They can't run away. They're now slowed down. The rune is gone, but the Dragonback Slayers have gotten there, and he's been able to actually push his Thunders away. So Amovehacker is really trying to figure out what's going on in this pocket. Unfortunately, this is going down. He's going to slow down the Saurus Warriors with the Master Rune and Wrath and Rune because he knows these guys are losing. You can see these guys are going forward, so he's just going to slow down with the Master Rune and Wrath and Rune so that they can't get into the line super fast. After they get there, back come the Kroxigors. Now, the one thing that Amovehacker has not been able to do is take out this second group of Kroxigors. Normally he would try to do that, but he hasn't been able to do that, and he has not been able to get to that Ancient Salamander. He's trying to shoot it, but it's really just on just a little. You can see that it's just a bit over that hill, so that arc is they're really having a hard time. So Amovehacker is just supporting this side, trying to find openings for his Thunders. He just wants to keep his units online. You're going to see he's going to keep on trying to move his units out and stop this Sour Sword Blood, stop this Skink Priest of Heavens. Inside this pocket, you can see this minus 30 armor again upgraded, bringing these guys down to 95 armor to 50 armor, minus 26 melee attack. Now, this is not where all the dwarf power is in the melee attack. They're just there to hold. But that minus 30 armor is a big deal for these Saurus Warriors. Now, these Saurus Warriors, he doesn't want them to get through. He sees these guys are starting to collapse, and he's slowed them. He's got the Master Rune and Wrath of Ruin on, and you can see this pocket is slowly getting smaller and smaller as the Lizardmen encroach on the Dowie formation, and there's not really much he can do. He's really trying to hold it back. This Ancient Salamander is still shooting, but now he's got his Runesmith over here. These guys who the Cold One Riders have stopped from running, they are coming back into the formation. He's going to try and stop them. Amove is just trying to hold and allow, like his pocket's getting smaller. You're going to see he's going to try and get these guys out so they can start shooting. He's just going to try and find a new place for some of his units. He's got to get rid of these Cold One Riders. He's got to stop the Saurus Warriors. He's got to stop the cohort of Sotek here and actually get a firing line. These guys are trying to get around here. They now have cold-blooded on them, so they do not rampage, but he is shooting on them. You can see he's got some shots in here. And now this Ancient Salamander is out of ammo, has 115 kills, and it's coming into the center of that formation. Another huge Curse of the Midnight Wind is going up in the middle of this pocket. You can see, again, like he's trying to get these guys out. The Iron Drakes are now going to try and shoot in onto this Skink Priest of Heaven. In comes the Ancient Salamander. You can see he's getting some shots. The Salamander is going to come in, now get into melee. It's done its job. It has 2 chevrons. It has absolutely been demolishing the Dowie from the outside in, and really all that's left is this Dowie pocket right here. Amovehacker has seen these units coming back, put the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, so it's going to take them a dog's age to get back into this fight because he's trying to win this pocket. He's trying to deal with what's going on here, but you can see this Ancient Salamander's now in here, and even though he's bringing these Thunders out, the Ancient Salamander's chasing. In come the Cold One Riders from the other side. They're getting ready to fight into here. He's trying to get some shots into the Ancient Salamander. He's still trying to get shots into the Skink Priest. He has been able to get these Saurus Warriors with shields routed, but in come the Red Crested Skinks are going to get back into this line. It's only the Saurus Old-Blood, only the Skink Priest of Heaven in here, and only the Ancient Salamander fighting, but he's now got the Dragonback Slayers on the Ancient Salamander, and this Ancient Salamander is going to go down to 48 speed, and its health is going to start to tank. Energize just trying to get it out of here. He knows he can't take it, but everything starts to go, and that is the match. So great, fun game sent in by Amovehacker and Energize, both amazing players, and I really love that I've gotten to see this game again between the same two players on the same two factions and see how their builds have evolved, which is really, really fantastic and absolutely a joy for me personally to watch. I mean, I love seeing builds develop over time, and you know, these guys are both amazing, and you could see how their builds sort of changed, like, you know, and how they stayed the same and what they're trying to do. So in this, you can see Amovehacker really wanted to use the runes to slow the engagement. So he was not using the runes to pick a target and absolutely demolish it. Like, I mean, this is when I think of these new runes, that's what I think of. I think, okay, find something that's going to get into the army, like a big single entity monster, you know, and put the Raster Rune or Rathan Rune on it and demolish it. But Amovehacker has used it for a different idea, which is to slow things down and delay engagement. Now, this is the big difference between the old Raster Rune of Rathan Rune and this one, is the old one would, you know, some of those units that he cast it on would have ended up getting routed. But they just got slowed down for an extended period and then got into the battle. But he used it pretty effectively, I would say, and really did use it, which is exactly the opposite of what you think. He actually used it to isolate a group of Kroxigors. These group of Kroxigors only got 2 kills, and that's because he used it on the units that were going to support the Kroxigors, so the Kroxigors got there early, which is actually quite brilliant in terms of how Amove is thinking about this. And it is really interesting because Amove has never really used, well, not never, he does prefer the base Lord, so not the Rune Lord, even in a lot of his builds, and you can see he's using the rune differently than I ever would have considered or thought. So it's actually fascinating to watch how different people are using different abilities. And anyways, the Rune Lord, 12 kills, the Rune Smith, 28, the Miner's Blasting Charges, 24, 57, 8, 6, 13, and 28. And the Longbeards did hold for quite some time, but Energize did a really good job of collapsing that front line. And he got some early shots in with his Ancient Salamander. But, you know, some were still around at the end. 65 with the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass performed very well in a sweeper role. 89 with the Dragonback Slayers, really, really well. 58 with the Giant Slayers. Now, I didn't focus on the Giant Slayers, but they did some work in the middle of that formation. 5-4-4 with the Thunders. The Thunders were shooting big stuff and were constantly inundated. Really, what those 3 groups of Thunders ended up doing was giving room for the Iron Drakes, Trollhammer Torpedoes to perform. They got 2 chevrons, 75 kills, which is absolutely amazing. Completely dumpstered the first group of Kroxigors, and we're getting some shots into the second group. Got some shots into the caster. Only 12 with the bolt thrower. You can see, though, he was shooting big things with that bolt thrower. And I know a lot of you love bolt throwers, and I actually have a bolt thrower in my Lizardmen build as well. But it was interesting to see that arc was really, really clever play from Energize, because he just sort of got below the arc of this thing's ability to hit it, and it was sailing over its head or hitting before it. He did hit it a few times, but you saw that Ancient Salamander used all its ammo and got in almost at full health. And Amovehacker was targeting it for a good portion of the battle. Now for Energize build, 35 with the Saurus Old Blood. I mean, I still think this is going to be the very best pick against the Daoi, and the way he used it really to punch a hole through the line. This is exactly how he used it last time, and if you watch the last game, it was actually in the precisely the same part of the line on his left flank, and Amovehacker's right flank, sort of the right center flank. It was really, really cool to watch this. He used some of the same abilities the same way. He did not bring any chameleon skink. So he had 1 unit of chameleon skinks last time. So 13 with the skink priest of heavens, 29-8 with the red, 29-8, 29-48, and 36 with the red crested skinks and the cohort of Sotek. 56, 56, and 75 with the Saurus warriors. Again, the gold standard against the dwarfs. 50 with these golden riders, only 15 with these guys. 52 with these Kroxigors who are allowed to go to work, and 2 with these. 123 with this ancient salamander. Was an absolute champ in this matchup. Now, this is where something like a gyrocopter shines. Like Amove would have been able to get that gyrocopter out early and just killed the salamander. And I have a game up where someone brought 1 salamander against me. I have a bolt thrower and a gyrocopter, and I was able to just the salamander got in some damage, but not this much, and I was able to route it quite early. But that's really where gyrocopters can shine, is in handling sort of the one-offs like this and doing a little bit of scouting, and even getting some late game blocks and shots against Coldwind Riders and routing them off. And you can see sort of the difference in that build. Amovehacker was really focusing on making an even more powerful infantry and backline build, because he not only replaced his cannon with a bolt thrower to save himself 250 gold, he got rid of the gyrocopter for 800 completely, and just made all this more robust with the runesmiths and the rune lord, and made it even stronger down in the center. And you can see his line kept on getting crushed in further and further and further, but he was actually able to maintain and sustain against that massive pressure. So really, really fun game. Absolutely fascinating. If you have not seen the first match with Amovehacker versus Energized, Dwarfs versus Lizardmen, I think the game was like 3 months ago. This is September. It was, maybe June, early July, somewhere in there, where I have a game of them playing, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I would highly recommend you go watch that game to see how these two great players have developed their builds, and another fun, amazing game to watch between them and between these two factions. I really enjoyed seeing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. With that said, hope you found it interesting, and I will see you soon.